Now, the Tippecanoe County primary debate. Election news from where you live.
Good evening and welcome to the 2018 Tippecanoe County primary debate hosted by WLFI. I'm Brittany Tyner. Jeff Smith and Trevor Peters are here to ask the hard questions. We will be hearing from 3 candidates for the sheriff's race tonight. That will be followed by the 2 candidates for the prosecutor's race. Now, we start with the sheriff's race. Each candidate will have 2 minutes for opening statements. We drew out of a hat before the debate started, and Jason Dumkowski will actually go first. You may begin.
Thank you, WLFI, all in attendance tonight, and those at home. I'm Chief Jason Dumkowski, and I want to be your next sheriff. I have 24 years of law enforcement experience, the last 10 plus years as chief of police. My wife Christy and I are both proud Purdue University graduates, and we love this county. It's where we are raising our 4 children. It's where I have learned to be a law enforcement leader and the kind of leader our sheriff's office needs in these challenging times. I'm running to restore leadership to the office of sheriff. You can't be a leader if you're not present. The current sheriff is a no-show for critical events with federal, state, and all other local law enforcement leaders in full attendance. The sheriff, by choice, does not attend any monthly law enforcement leader meetings or any bi-monthly public safety leader meetings. Our current sheriff chooses not to participate or assign deputies to the Tippecanoe County Drug Task Force, an elite multi-agency detective squad that seeks to rid drug dealers from our county, or the newly formed canine-based Tippecanoe County Highway Drug Patrol Team, or even the Tippecanoe County Opioid Task Force. Our county is at a crossroads. Over the last 3 years, we have seen drastic increases in violent crime and dangerous drugs arriving from outside our county. I'm the only candidate with the education, training, and proven leadership that our sheriff's office desperately needs in these challenging times. I'm Chief Jason Dumkowski, and I ask for your vote.
Thank you. John Woody Ricks, you're up next.
Good evening. I'm John Ricks. Most of my friends and coworkers call me Woody. I'm a lifelong resident of Tippecanoe County. My wife and I both graduated from McCutcheon High School. We have 3 children, and next month we'll be celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary. I've worked at the Sheriff's Department for 28 years. I started working at the Sheriff's Department when I was only 19 years old as a jailer. I have worked in several different areas of the department. I worked as a jailer and then as a dispatcher before becoming a deputy in 1994. I was promoted to the rank of sergeant 6 years later. I've been part of our shift command staff now for 17 years. Most of my career has been spent working night shift patrol, but I also worked as a supervisor in our detective division for almost 4 years. I'm currently a day shift patrol lieutenant. I'm a very active member of the Sheriff's Department. I've been a member of our water rescue team for almost my whole career. I'm the team leader for our crisis hostage negotiation team, and I'm a field training officer. On my days off, I work overtime as a school security officer at McCutcheon High School, at least 2 or 3 times a month. I also participate in extra duty patrols such as the DUI Task Force against impaired driving and other special traffic enforcement patrols. I've dedicated my life to the Sheriff's Department. I love my job, and it really defines who I am. We have a lot of great employees at the Sheriff's Department, and I'm very proud of the work that we do. That being said, we need a sheriff that is highly dedicated to the Sheriff's Department and to its people, and who will take an active role in the day-to-day operations of the Sheriff's Department. Leadership starts at the top. Tippecanoe County is a great community. We need to strive to keep it a safe place to live, work, and raise a family. Thank you.
Thank you. Barry Richard, you're up next.
Good evening. Thank everybody for coming tonight, WLFI and Faith for hosting this. I'm your Sheriff, Barry Richard. It has been my distinct honor to serve as your Tippecanoe County Sheriff for the past 3+ years. In 2015, our administrative team immediately began work on a comprehensive study of our department. The most critical need is additional manpower. This crisis has been created over several decades of not growing our personnel to meet the demands we face in our county. We have submitted a 5-year strategic plan to our councilmen and commissioners. Our plan is realistic, straightforward, and crucial to the safety of the men and women working at the department. We have made significant advancements in the amount of resources we have within the department. For the past 3 years, we have replaced our vehicles with all-wheel and four-wheel drive SUVs and trucks, providing a safer and more effective situation for our deputies and staff. A training initiative with Police One has been obtained for our department's continued development. We have created our own proactive criminal enforcement program, otherwise known as PACE. Programs targets area of concern within our community, coming up with a strategic plan to combat the issue and enforcing the law. We have partnered with Tippecanoe County School Corporation. Our deputies have 24/7 access to all schools, which is imperative to keeping our community and especially children safe. We have increased the quality and quantity of inmate health care and mental illness counseling. We have more than tripled our commissary funds. This allowed our department opportunities and advancement. Working within the budget, I always prioritize road patrol. We are able, as of today, we have 150 positions, civilian and merit. And as an administrator, we make sure what we have allocated, we fill. This is in the best interest of the department and the community as a whole. A true merit system is in place at the Sheriff's Department, and accessibility and administration is 24/7.
All right, thank you. We will now start with the question portion of the debate. The candidate directly answering the question will have a minute to respond. Then the other two will have 30 seconds for rebuttal. I will be keeping time and giving each candidate a 15-second warning. And once again, we already drew numbers out of a hat to determine this order. Barry, you will be going first in this part. Jeff, Trevor?
Sheriff, what is your stance on the needle exchange program right now in Tippecanoe County?
I know there's a lot of debate going on, and obviously nobody wants that in their backyard as far as the locations of it. I would like to see a lot more counseling and programs within the program and just not issuing the needles and the supplies for the needle exchange. I think that the idea and the theory behind helping those that's addicted to opioids and substance abuse is a great one, but we got to follow up and have parts of the program that's going to actually make a difference and change the actual habits and the lifestyles of those involved with the opioids and substance abuse.
Okay. Jason?
I've been on record with WLFI numerous times that I am not an advocate of the needle exchange program. Giving away 40 needles at a time in a drug kit with a cooker and all the supplies needed to enable to do drugs in our community on our tax dollars is simply wrong. I would advocate treatment, jail-based treatment, and get people the help that they need and stop the Band-Aid effect of a needle exchange program. Thank you.
And finally,
I'm definitely against the needle exchange program. I think that we have to go to the root of the problem. We have to get these people the kind of help that they need. And, you know, enabling them with these needles is not going to help the situation. We have to, whether it be in jail or outside of jail, we got to connect them with the right people and partner with the people that offer those services to get treatment for drug abuse.
all right, thank you. Jason will answer this next question.
Sort of a follow-on to the previous question. If elected sheriff, how would you help tackle the opioid crisis in Tippecanoe County?
Thank you, Jeff. Enforcement, treatment, and certainly prevention. We are not doing a good job in that area. We can do better, for sure. We absolutely need to increase our leveraging of our task forces and working together. The Sheriff's Office currently doesn't participate in all the other task forces that we work on, LPD, WLPD, Purdue University Police, and the State Police. They don't send anybody. Treatment, professional jail-based treatment professional jail-based treatment, paid with commissary funds, and investment in the people in the jail, therapeutic communities, and prevention, a DARE program. I would start a DARE program the first year I'm elected sheriff for our Tippecanoe County School Corporation.
Thank you. Lieutenant Ricks, you're up next for a 30-second rebuttal.
30 seconds. We do have to keep up with the enforcement. We do have special groups going out and trying to fight against these crimes now, but he's right about the prevention. And prevention can start in the schools. We don't have a DARE program now. We have programs in Tippecanoe School Corporation called RAD Kids that's working with children too. And a whole array of different subjects is what they deal with. We need to start when the kids are young and teach them not to use these drugs. And we also need to work with our healthcare officials.
Time is up. And Sheriff Richard.
Okay. Obviously, this is known. We definitely need the prevention. And in the first year, we started our own program called the Community Navigators that come down to the jail at no cost to the taxpayers. We make those relationships where we're going to give them support in the jail as inmates, and then we're able to follow up with the support system that once they are released back into our community, they will have access to housing, to food, to employment, to all those things that's going to help them to stay away from the opioids and the substance abuse.
Okay, this next question will be for Lieutenant Woody Ricks.
Lieutenant Ricks, do you feel gun laws need to be changed in the United States? If so, how and why?
I do support the Second Amendment. I think Indiana is a very pro-gun state. Our country's a pretty pro-gun nation as a whole. But gun laws do need to be strengthened. The main thing is if a crime is committed while in possession of a gun, that usually is somewhat of an enhancement, but it needs to be much more stricter of an enhancement. And then people that are carrying a gun without a license, it's a very light penalty for that right now. It's not much of anything, but I think it needs to be at least a felony level, or maybe even a slightly higher felony level than our level 6 felony. It needs to be more strict. If we make those laws more strict, then maybe we won't have people disobeying those, but I mean, we see that criminals possess handguns and they're not licensed, and they're always going to have that, but we need to make the punishment much more severe so that it helps to fight against that.
Good timing.
I knew it was coming.
All right, we'll circle back around to Sheriff Richard for this next question.
Do we have rebuttal? Rebuttal on the gun?
Oh, I apologize.
Thank you.
Yeah, rebuttal. You may start.
I tell you, the right for the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. I support stricter background checks, and it's about access. Stricter background checks. It's not about the weapons themselves. I'm always armed in public. I have to be. I've taken an oath to protect and serve my community. Bear, are you armed this evening? The right to keep and bear arms.
Yep, Sheriff.
Sure. Eliminate assault. I'm in favor of the Second Amendment without question. Eliminate the assault rifles. They mean just that, assault. Eliminate high-capacity magazines. Eliminate bump stocks, which turn a semi-automatic into an automatic weapon. For citizens wanting permits purchase, they must go into a better and more extensive database so we know exactly if there's any mental illness in that person's life that would keep them from having a gun.
All right. Now we will circle back to Sheriff Richard for a question.
And we'll circle back to the issue of drugs in the jail. What is your plan as sheriff to keep drugs out of the jail?
Obviously, every jail, every prison there's a certain element of drugs that do somehow, some way make their way into the jail. So what we're doing, we're being proactive. In just this last week, we ordered about a $200,000 body scanner. When we bring people in to the jail, we're going to be able to see if they're hiding or concealing any, and that's one of the ways they do it, conceal in the cavity of their body. We're going to be able to do that. That $200,000, that's going to be such a great preventative measure. That was not paid for with any taxpayer's money. That was because of fiscal responsible management of the jail. We did that out of commissary funds, and we're able to, along with additional training opportunities, such as a training simulator, $60,000, all with commissary funds because we are very fiscally responsible.
Chief Domkowski, rebuttal.
No canine searches in the jail for the past 3 years. That's an operational failure. In January, we had 3 jail officers were exposed to dangerous drugs in our own jail. They had to receive Narcan, an antidote, and go to the hospital for treatment. That is a leadership failure. If I'm elected your sheriff of Tippecanoe County, I would run canines through that jail every single day, if need be, to make sure we didn't have any in there. Technology's great. Good old-fashioned police work works every time.
And Lieutenant Ricks.
In the jail, we have trustees that work in the jail, and those trustees are inmates that are trusted, and they work in our kitchen and they work in our custodial staff. We have trustees that work outside of the secure areas, and we found in the past that that's where some of our drugs are getting into. An inmate goes out and works in the outside and is able to get those back in. If I'm elected sheriff, we'll have no trustees that work in the unsecure parts of our building, only the secure parts of our building.
All right, this next question is for Chief Domkowski.
Chief Domkowski, what do you think is a normal rate of retention for employees at the sheriff's office, and how will you keep them from switching departments?
I have an 11-year record as chief of police for the city of West Lafayette. And 60 employees at our sheriff's office have left over the last 3 years. 40% of the workforce gone. Over 400 years of service to this county has walked out the door in the last 3 years since Barry Richard has been sheriff. If I had a record like that as chief of police, as close as John Dennis and I are, he would look for leadership elsewhere, and I wouldn't blame him. That is not a fun place to work. That takes a toll on the taxpayers and the rest of this county, and I just can't believe that number. It's staggering. 40% of the workforce, 60 people, have left in 3 years.
Lieutenant Ricks, rebuttal.
We have to take care of our people. We have to make sure that we give them the right kind of training that they like and enjoy, and that's going to really help them do their job. We have to take care of them in different ways. We have to make sure we have the best equipment for them, they're well equipped to go out and do their job, and those type of things and good leadership will lift morale, and we will keep people longer, and we'll be more successful.
And Sheriff Richard.
Yes, since the year 2000 to 2017, our average of losing personnel is on average or below. The numbers have been manipulated to where you guys are not understanding. Our losing employees is at 13% a year. And if you took a corrections officer's position and seen how difficult it was, you would see why that profession has what we have 8 or 9 per year from that division alone. So it's only 13% that actually leave, and that's what I advocate for, is more personnel and pay.
Okay, thank you. And this next question is for Lieutenant Woody Ricks.
Should the sheriff's position be his or her only paid position?
It absolutely should be the only paid position. The office of the sheriff, I've worked for 5 sheriffs now, and it's not natural for me not to have a full-time sheriff. I know the sheriff does good work at the Boys and Girls Club, and I think that's very commendable, but the sheriff's office is absolutely a full-time job. We have to be there every day. We have to be available to the people that work under us, and it's just very important that we are there and we're showing a high level of dedication, because that reflects on our deputies and the jail staff. when they see that we're there and we're working hard and doing our job, then it motivates them to do the same. And otherwise it doesn't. You know, if your absence isn't important, then your presence doesn't matter.
Sheriff Richard, rebuttal.
Sure. I've met and exceeded any and all expectation of any sheriff. I've been there, in the last 3+ years, I've taken a handful of days off. I've been there in the evenings, I've been there in the weekends. I am there, I am accessible. Our team is always available for our personnel. If you want, and what we deserve, is total commitment to our community. And that's what I do. It's a commitment to law enforcement and the development of our whole youth and community as a whole.
And Chief Domkowski.
I said it in my opening, you can't be a leader if you're not present. Boys and Girls Club, 2016 salary, $62,500. On the tax return, it says you worked 40 hours a week there. You can't serve two masters. You are either the full-time sheriff or you're the full-time director of the Boys and Girls Club. You got to pick one or the other. Our sheriff's office is in crisis. It's in a leadership void like we have not seen in decades. If I'm elected your sheriff, I will be your full-time sheriff, just as I am your full-time chief of police.
This next question is for Sheriff Richard.
Sheriff, how will you work to be transparent to the public if elected?
Continuing to do exactly what I do now. Everything, my doors are always open. The accessibility is there. I'm there every day. You can come at 6:30 a.m., I will be there. You come in the afternoons, I will be there. If you need me, everybody knows my phone number. Transparency is key. Our merit system is a true merit system for the deputies. We as administrators are not handpicking or putting those individuals, the deputies, for promotion. That's done with cooperation and a merit board that is very dedicated, engaged, and strong. They're the ones that actually are making the promotions. We allow them to do their job. We partner with them. We rely on their skill. Transparency is key to everything, and that's what you get when you get me. Because I choose to work throughout the community, as I have for the last 40 years, in multiple agencies, multiple endeavors, that's my choice. I'd rather do that than golf, take vacations, or do something else. I'm working to make a difference.
Thank you. Jason, rebuttal.
Give me that question one more time. I lost that in the rebuttal.
How will you work to be transparent to the public if elected?
Transparency and accountability go hand in hand. We were the first agency, WLPD, in the state of Indiana to implement body cameras for all of our employees. Started in 2012 with full implementation by 2014. The month that Ferguson, Missouri happened, WLPD had body cameras on its officers. It's about being progressive. It's about being innovative, and it's about being open and accountable to our public.
And Lieutenant Ricks.
Transparency is very important, you know. Sharing with the public what we're doing can be very helpful. You know, sharing with the media is not always our enemy. We can actually use them as a tool sometimes to help, you know, and help with situations. Social media, I know there's other agencies that really push social media. They get information out to the public, and that interaction with the community ends up going two ways, and we really can learn and gain information from that.
All right, I believe that was actually our last question. So now we will move on to closing statements. Each candidate will have 1 minute for that, and we'll start as the same order as our opening statements. So Chief Domkowski, you'll go first, and you'll have a minute.
Our sheriff's office deserves a proven leader in these challenging times. One that values partnerships and fully understands the crossroads we are facing. We must stop the flow of dangerous drugs into this county. We must end the revolving door of addiction in our jail, and we must better protect our schools. As your sheriff, I promise to cooperate with all law enforcement leaders to ensure a safer Tippecanoe County. I have a proven leadership record. I will restore leadership to our sheriff's office, just as I did 10 years ago to a challenged police department through professionalism, transparency, and accountability. I'm Chief Jason Dumkowski, and I ask for your vote.
Thank you. Lieutenant Ricks.
I'd like to thank WLFI and Faith West for hosting this event. I think it's very important for the people to be informed voters. To learn more about me, please visit my webpage or my Facebook page. Please reach out to me. My email is listed on both of those sites. I even listed my cell phone number on my web page. I hope that I have conveyed to the audience tonight that I'm a very dedicated, active member of the Sheriff's Department. I am in this race for the right reason. Working there as long as I have, and in all the various positions that I've worked, I understand the operations of the Sheriff's Department like no other candidate. I know our people. They are my people. I know their strengths, their abilities, and I feel that I'm a better choice to lead and manage those people. Thank you for your support.
And Sheriff Richard.
I love this community. I've lived here my whole life. I've served here for the last 40 years in different capacities: law enforcement, youth development, elderly agencies. All that work is because I love this community and I love all you people. All the people in this room, I want you to love Tippecanoe County as much as I do. All you people at home, if you want to know the truth about Tippecanoe County Sheriff's Office, talk to an employee at the Sheriff's Office. Don't listen to slanted information. Body cameras, we waited and we got the latest body camera at zero cost to the taxpayers. That's fiscal responsibility. We're making do with our community assets at the Sheriff's Office to better our department. We have a tremendous department. Our men and women in brown and tan, they are making a difference. They are doing all they can. I will stand up for them and I will work hard for them. I work hard for you because you are the ones that I love. Thank you.
All right, thank you, candidates. That concludes the debate for the sheriff's primary. We'll be right back in a moment with the debate for Tippecanoe County prosecutor.